What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out a brand new action camera, and this action camera is very unique, very unlike all the other action cameras available on the market. So this one is called OCLU, I think that's how you pronounce the name, and as always there will be some links in the video's description just in case you wanna check it out. So right out of the box, so just as you see it here, this is water resistant, so you can splash some water on it, you can splash some mud on it and nothing will happen to it. However, if you do plan on taking this diving, I do recommend that you get yourself the waterproof case and probably that floating stick, because you don't want the camera to get damaged. And personally I took this in the water with a waterproof case on multiple occasions and it works great afterwards. So this camera can record in 4K at 30 frames per second, you can also do 2.7K, 2.5K, and it can also do 1080p at 120 frames per second. And if you plan on recording anything in slow motion, that's the resolution that you would use. And these are a couple of examples of slow motion clips that I've done with it, and I have to say they look absolutely amazing, super cool. Of course, you can also do 1080p at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 30 frames per second, and everything else below that, so like 720p. Now, if you plan on using the electronic image stabilization, you're gonna have to select 1080p at 60 or 1080p at 30 or below that. The image stabilization doesn't work for higher resolutions, and these are a couple of examples with the image stabilization on and with the image stabilization off. So let's check those out. Alright, and we're moving on to the camera itself. So, as I said before, this looks very unique and it's also made out of a combination of rubber and plastic. And I actually dropped mine, not this one, but I did drop this one a couple of times and it worked fine afterwards. So at the bottom we have a 1/4 inch screw, so you can basically mount this on any tripod, and we also get this mounting tool, I would say, in the box. So you basically attach this to the bottom of the camera and then you can mount this on any accessories. There are a bunch of accessories that the company makes, but if you don't want to buy accessories, this should work with most accessories from other action cameras. On the front we have the lens and a small screen, and on that screen you can see the battery life, you can see the mode that you are in, the recording resolution, and there is also a small LED that will flash whenever you are recording, and next to that we have a hole for a microphone. At the top we basically get the bigger screen, and that's the screen that you would actually look at to frame your shots. We also have the recording button, and that's also the select button, and a couple of more holes for the microphone. On the left hand side we have a couple of buttons, on the right hand side we have the holes for the speaker, and all the way at the back we have the charging port and a little plastic door that will cover the battery and the SD card. On one charge you can get about an hour and a half if you are recording in 1080p, but of course it will depend how you actually use the camera. It depends if you keep the screen on, if you keep the Wi-Fi on, etc, etc. So you may be able to get more or less recording time depending on how you use the camera. You can also use this while charging. So the charger attaches to the back of the camera with magnets, and it doesn't matter how you actually place the charger, it charges the camera no matter what. And this camera can also do time lapses at the press of a button, and that's where charging the camera while doing something with it is important. And this is a time lapse that I've done with this camera in 4K. And as you can probably see for yourself, it does look super cool. So I've had these cameras for a couple of months now, and I took this one pretty much everywhere with me. I took this one on boat rides, on horse rides, on car rides, on bicycle rides. I took this one with me everywhere. This one stayed home most of the time. This one I even dropped a couple of times. It has some scratches on it, etc, etc. But now I want to show you some sample recordings that I've done with this one over the past 2 months. Most of the recordings that you're about to see were done in 1080p at 30 frames per second, because that's where we get electronic image stabilization. I mean, I've done some in 60 frames per second as well, but most of them are in 30 frames per second. But you can see at the bottom of the screen whatever resolution I was using. So let's check out those recordings and I'll be right back.
Bam! Allez!
Alright, this is a super quick audio test with this new action camera that I'm trying out. So I'm currently recording in 1080p at 30 frames per second, and there is no other noise aside from my voice. Well, maybe a bit of an echo because I'm in a room here, but other than that you should only be able to hear my voice. So under these conditions, this is how recording from this camera sounds like. So I hope you enjoyed my vacation footage. It so happened that I took one of these cameras with me because otherwise if I would have filmed everything around here, it would have looked a bit boring. So since this is a camera, of course it can also take pictures, and I took some pictures during the day and during the night, and these are some examples of pictures that I took with it so you can see for yourself how they look. So once again, to take pictures you just press a button, the camera takes a picture, or you can change settings if you want to take more advanced pictures. This camera can also be controlled from your smartphone over Wi-Fi. So the camera can make a Wi-Fi network. You connect to that Wi-Fi network with your smartphone. You have to install an app on your smartphone, but the app is available for Android and iOS. And once you have the app installed, you can basically connect to the camera. You can change all the settings for the camera right from the app. And you can also see the recordings that you've done on the camera, and you can download them on your phone. Now, if you use the app with the camera at the same time, so let's say you put the phone in your backpack, and then you can record your GPS location as well. So let's say you're like on a bike ride or something like that, you can record the speed and the location on the map. And when you actually watch the footage, you can see exactly where you are on the map and the speed at all times. So a pretty cool feature. Using the camera is also super simple, but you're gonna have to set it up at first when you first get it. Basically customize it for whatever you need. So we have 4 modes that you can select from. You can customize each mode individually. So you basically press one of the buttons on the left hand side and you can switch in between modes. In my case, the first mode that I have set up, it's called live cut, and this is something unique, something that I haven't seen for other cameras in the past. So with this mode, you can basically delete footage while it happens, if that makes any sense. So let's say that you're trying to get a special shot, right? So you're gonna have to record the same thing like 4 or 5 times to get the right shot, the perfect shot. So you don't want to save all that footage because when you get home, you're gonna have to upload all that to the computer and look through it, right? Well, this way you basically delete the shots that didn't turn out good. So you see how the shot was, you delete it right away and you start recording again. I hope that makes sense. It's a very unique feature that allows you to delete the files that you know that aren't gonna be good. There are also a bunch of mounts and accessories available for it, but you're gonna have to buy them separately. So for example, this floating stick, I usually use this with a waterproof case. There is this selfie stick right here. You can bend this any way. You can make it longer, for example. So you can do a bunch of stuff with this one. There is a mount, so you can mount the camera on a bicycle. So on the handle there are some stickers, so you can attach it to helmets and stuff. So definitely a lot of accessories that are and will be available for it. So there you have it. This is the brand new OCLU Action Camera. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer those. If you did like the video, don't forget to press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.